What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of The Full View. I'm laughing because KG's dance. Every week when we do this, I see the little boxes in front of me and I see KG just gradually build up into more and more and more of a dance. He gets into a full, KG.
I'm a musical person. I'm a musical person and I think it's the right thing to do. And I'm alive from my man sickness that I had.
Yeah, KG's been down with a rough bout of man flu. We were just saying before, Cam also had this, possibly, maybe. We're not sure. Nevertheless.
No, Cam was drunk.
Yeah, well, yeah. Accusations, strong accusations straight out of the gate. Big up to the panel, big up to Cam, big up to KG, big up to Kenny, big up to Steph. We got a lot to talk about today on the Full View.
Can you call semi-final Kenny, please? Because it's in a semi-final.
Semi-final on Thursday.
True. The semi-final on Thursday. I'm sure the entire UV
Lanzarote Boards comp.
Come on. Bit of a plug. Big crowds. Are there big crowds, Kenny, when you have your tournaments? No. Okay, that's fine.
No. About 30 or 40.
That's not bad.
What do you call it? What would you say? What's the percentage of women that are watching you? Is there a big percentage?
60-70%.
Ooh, I'm telling you, this guy's a silver fox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Before we started, KG was trying to sort of see if Kenny wins or not. He said, I'm not sure if your record's a bit Spurs-ish.
I do all right, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we like. That's what we like to hear. Yeah. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about Erik ten Hag and his future as Manchester United manager, as some news actually just breaking in the last couple of minutes about INEOS's plans or lack thereof to sack Erik ten Hag, or at least until the structure gets into place as well. So there's quite a lot for me to read here. So I'll get straight into it. Let's start off with this first part here from Pete Hall from iSport, who says, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS are planning for Erik ten Hag to be in charge at Manchester United next season, but are developing a strategy to be able to move quickly should they decide to replace him. The thrilling victory over Liverpool a week ago, that got on, of course, to the semi-final against Coventry at Wembley, has almost certainly earned Ten Hag a stay of execution until the summer, I understand, when INEOS really planned to get down to reviving the stuttering giant of the football world. Poor results that would mean United missing out on Champions League football next season will work against Erik ten Hag, insiders have said. But as it stands, Ratcliffe and his right-hand man, Sir Dave Brailsford, have no plans to change the manager. In addition, I have also been told that neither man, that being Ratcliffe or Brailsford, will actually wield the axe directly. Should Dan Ashworth leave Newcastle to become United's new sporting director, it's he, along with Chief Executive Omar Barada, who will make this call. This was actually something that Samuel Luckhurst also said earlier today as well. Barada, of course, officially begins his role at the end of the season, whereas with Dan Ashworth, they're still negotiating compensation with Newcastle. This is quite an interesting quote, saying, quotes, making big calls without consulting the experts is not what Sir Dave does, a source told I. If anything, he will ask too many people's opinions. Delegating to the right people is his thing. He is fully aware Ashworth and Barada know better than he does whether Ten Hag is right for Manchester United. Transforming how major decisions are made is really what he is there for. Just because, and I suppose this is the key part in all of this, just because they have identified Graham Potter, Roberto De Zerbi, Gareth Southgate, and Julian Nagelsmann, among others, it does not mean Ten Hag is under any more pressure, a source adds. They are just getting plans in place to move quickly should Barada and or Ashworth decide that change is needed. But if Ten Hag does want to front this INEOS revolution, his role is going to have to change. Since arriving at Manchester United 2 years ago, the Dutchman's had a big say on transfers, and I says to limited success. I understand that responsibility will now be taken away from the United boss, regardless of whether it's Ten Hag or someone in the hot seat. Ashworth's team, which will grow considerably in the coming months, will assume those duties when they are in place. Ten Hag also does have other options, with one source adding a return to Ajax or even Bayern Munich could happen if he were to leave Old Trafford, but it is understood he is very keen to finish what he has started in England. KG, what do you make of all of that with your big grin on your face?
I was laughing at a few things. No, just laughing at the comment section. I heard Flex did a madness today. Flex said he asked the people in North Korea to comment.
Do you know what? I heard that, but I wasn't listening at the time because I was reading. We were talking about some of the biggest stadiums in the world, and the second biggest stadium is in North Korea. And whilst I was looking up, apparently he said, well, if you're in North Korea, get in the comment section. I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think they'll get in the comment section, to be honest.
He's got one there. Please, we need UV clips. Somebody, I need that. I need that clip to post. Anyway, just on. That's a high-rated comment.
That's something you do. That's something you do.
That's ridiculous. So anyway, just on Man United, these are the sounds that you want to hear. I hate that thing of something of execution. What's that word? Something of, I don't like that. It doesn't, there's always, that piece of negative spin, but you can tell these guys finally realize that this manager with the tools, with the right things around him, and yes, it's good for any business to have a safety plan, a get out of jail free card. And that's what they're trying to make sure all around, because that's what a big club's supposed to do. There has to be like backup plans and a backup plan to the backup plan. And at Man United, what they do is it's interim settings. Interim, give it Ollie to the end of the season, or give it Giggsy, and then we'll see what happens. And now, finally, we're going in the right direction of running like a really big club. I'm excited about this because I think structure only goes and helps the manager. Anyone that thinks that he's going to struggle with having people to report to just don't understand what Ten Hag's all about. He's done his badges. He's been around the block. He's been in some different difficult environments. We say Bayern, where again that is, you see how they run that club as well. He's seen it. He's watched it all. So he's at Man United. They'll find the right thing for him.
Steph, what do you make of what we were reading there when it comes to Ten Hag? Do you think? I mean, it's still kind of the same information, I suppose, in the sense of they don't have any plans to change him, but if they do, they've already done their due diligence. What do you think? What's your prediction on his future, or do you like these noises that you're hearing as well?
I think first and foremost, I will say this. Look, I've been quietly watching the full view the past few weeks, behind the scenes, in the comments, just praying, not even commenting. And I feel like there's a lot of our members and our viewers that they like a fair assessment on, or a fair representation of like Erik Ten Hag in and Ten Hag out. And I would love to be, I would love to give our viewers not necessarily more of an unbiased approach, but like I'm very firmly Erik Ten Hag in. So this is music to my ears. And it's probably not what some of our like viewers want to like hear, but I have to be truthful to myself. Like, this is music to my ears. However, I would say it's a bit like lip service. I'm just like, that all sounded really vague. Like, if you deep it, like, oh, we've got some, what was the quote? I think it was the second page that you pulled up, and you were like, oh, we've got plans in order if in case we need to change our manager. I'm like, well, what plans are these? Are you going to go into them in depth?
Just not Gareth.
Like, can you go into them in depth? Like, what is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it does. This is why I say it's kind of the same information sort of put out there, isn't it? Of, well, we've got no plans, but if we do have plans, we're going to have some plans. You go, you said plans quite a lot there. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of feels like a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure. What is that noise? Did you hear that, KG?
Yeah,
it sounded like air.
I think it's the man in Lanzarote.
I didn't just blame Kenny. Kenny don't have that, Kenny.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
No, exactly. It wasn't him. But Kenny, what do you think about what you're hearing there about Ten Hag and your future and his future?
I'm pleased from the point of view that what we're seeing and hearing is what we've always wanted to hear, is that there's going to be a proper structure in place with a football director, a director of football, and there's going to be financial support. It may not be as much as what we wanted. That's all controlled by FFP. But ultimately, what we're listening to now is a common sense approach to managing a football club. And it isn't something that's off the cuff or whatever. Everything what they've said they'd do so far appears to be coming to fruition. And I think once we get Dan Ashworth in, we get everybody in place, then I think we'll see a more of a structured approach to how we move forward. So I'm quite pleased with it. But on the other hand, if you look at it from other football clubs that have been taken over, I cannot think, and I've been trying to wrap my brains, of a club that has been taken over in the last 5 years that's kept the existing manager. I can't think of one. So and there's lots of clubs been taken over. But on the other hand, what we're not seeing as well, I don't think we're seeing this year a high turnover of managers in the Premier League. I think people are being more patient, clubs are being more patient, and I think that's around two issues. One, they can no longer buy themselves out of trouble, because if they do, they get in trouble themselves. So when we looked at the January transfer window, there was hardly any movement. We didn't see many sackings when we've had international breaks, which we would normally do. So I think the clubs are finally coming to learn that you can't buy yourself out of a problem. You've got to work your way through it. And what INEOS appear to be doing is having a structured approach and a common sense approach to sorting out the problems. Where in the past, I have to say, in the past, Erik ten Hag under a Woodward or a Glazer 2 or 3 years ago, he would have gone by now. He would have without doubt gone, because we would, as fans, we would not have accepted it. We wouldn't have accepted a record number of defeats. We wouldn't have accepted 6th in the league, bottom of the Champions League, an embarrassing situation, also some of the transfers, etc., etc. I think there's, in the fan base, not just our fan base, but I think in the Premier League generally, I think people are sitting back and watching what the impact of FFP is having. And this could be part of it. This could be part of it. This is all part of, if you sack a new manager, you've already given the guy 400 million, whether we like his transfers or not. We've already given him. So let's see what he can do. Let's give him at least another 14, 15 months. And I think the result from Liverpool, I said a month ago, he's got 3 results that will save his job. One was the City result, one was the Liverpool result, and the other, I think, is going to be the Arsenal result or whatever. Because them are your 3 top teams. So we knew against City, although we went 1-0 up, it was a matter of time. It wasn't good, but we didn't get hammered. Liverpool was incredible. I think it was a massive, massive lift for everyone associated with the club, worldwide. We got one over on our biggest rivals. Incredible. So I think currently he's got a little bit of a crest of a wave, but I think also what's supporting him.
Do you change your opinion? Can I quickly ask you, Kenny? Does your opinion change if we lose to Brentford on the weekend?
No, because I'm not looking at through rose-coloured tinted glasses either. I don't have 10 Hag tinted glasses. I am confident that I'm confident from a point of view that I cannot guarantee a win at weekend. I cannot do it because I just know what these players, what may or may not happen. What I'm thankful of is that we are coming out of a crisis with regards to the injuries. We know we're coming out of that. Hopefully we don't get back into it. And he's not used as an excuse. He's been quite pragmatic and saying, look, my best, I've had 28 different setups in defence. We can't get around that. We can't deny it. That's what he's had. Now, I know other teams have had issues and problems, but in Ten Hag's case, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I just hope, what I don't want to happen, we get on this crest of a wave with regards to, we might win the FA Cup and we might get 5th place. And Villa and Tottenham are just as inconsistent as we are. So what I wouldn't like to happen is a knee-jerk reaction at the end of the season. If we don't win the FA Cup and we get 6th, I don't want to see a reaction then, because hopefully we won't. I think if we was going to get a new manager, I think it would have happened. Because I think because INEOS came in on the crest of a wave, the fan base was a little bit Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out or whatever. I think if they'd have made the change, then I think they would have got away with it from a point of view that was the time to do it. That was the time to do it. Not wait till the end of the season now. And if we just happen to miss out, we blame Ten Hag. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want them to, I'd love them to, no club will do it. I'd love INEOS to do a press conference with Brailsford, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ten Hag and say, right, this is the way forward. We want to support this manager and this is what our plans are moving forward for 2025 and leave it at that. And I think they will get then a lot more people a lot of fans happier, knowing full well, if we lose 4 of the next 14 games or whatever, I don't think you can blame the manager. I don't. I think, like you say, I think there's other issues going on in and around. So I think I'd love them to see it to come out and stop all this speculation or whatever, and just say, right, this is our man. He's got a contract. We're going to support him till the end of that contract. That's all we need as fans. And then I think the fan base then will get behind more and more. But that's just...
Cam, what do you think with what that report was saying? Is it just, as sort of Steph was saying earlier on, is it kind of lip service? Is it good things to hear? They're just doing their due diligence? Or do you think it's just, again, just sort of, it's international break, it's speculation, got to sell papers, got to get clicks? What do you make of it all?
Yeah, it's just that, isn't it? I'm a bit tired of the whole thing because every day there's a new report that Ten Hag's in or Ten Hag's out, and not a single report is definitive on anything. They're all just saying INEOS might have the option to possibly remove Ten Hag should they decide that the wind is blowing in a particular direction on that particular day. You get the same thing every time, and we win a game, suddenly reports that Ten Hag's staying. We lose a game or draw a game, suddenly he's leaving. It's a bit, in all honesty, it's a bit tiresome. I think there's plenty of arguments why he should stay, and obviously I think everyone knows I'm a big fan of Ten Hag, but I do also appreciate he's done a lot of things wrong and made a big mess of a lot of things as well. So I think you couldn't, like Kenny said, I think if INEOS had come in and chosen to make a change, there were plenty of good reasons to do it. I think there's a lot of things he's got wrong. But personally, I'd like to see him stay. And I think if you give him the end of the season, realistically, it seems a little bit counterintuitive, given that you're going to be planning pre-season and planning next season with him, that he doesn't then get to see that out. So I expect him to have at least one more year. And look, if he has another year and can't do anything with it, then that's on him. But I think he'll get one more year at least. And I hope so.
Do you think it's disrespectful, Cam, with this stuff that's coming out? Because it only took, a day or so before, Eric Ten Hag beats Liverpool, a game that nobody thought we were going to win. And like a day or so later, they're going, oh yeah, Gareth Southgate, INEOS really like him. He might become the Man United manager.
I don't think it's necessarily disrespectful as speculation. I think it's incredibly disrespectful that Gareth Southgate is the man linked with the job, because he has done nothing at all of any note at club level. He didn't exactly do a starting job at Middlesbrough, and now all of a sudden he's being linked with Manchester United. I think the difference between international and club level is so big in terms of what you need to get right. What Southgate's done well at international level is he's got, obviously the vibes in the camp are good. He's got everyone on side, and character-wise, he's a good bloke, basically. That's what he's done well at international level. And the reality is, when you work with the players for a week and a half at a time, and you do that a few times throughout the year, that's probably good enough. And the fact is, there's enough talent in the squad that they're going to do fairly well. But the bit that annoys me is that he firstly doesn't really have much in the way of tactical nuance, which I can sort of understand because he doesn't work with them for a long enough period. So maybe that's sort of why he's not got that and why it looks a bit stale at times. But the biggest issue I've got with Southgate is that he doesn't take any risks. He does everything possible. It's almost like in the back of his mind, it isn't necessarily about the result. It's about the reaction if it goes wrong. Because if he takes risks and it goes wrong, and look, if he plays a team of technical players and England lose 5 or 6-0, he is going to get hammered. If he plays a team of physical players, it's very unlikely that England get absolutely humiliated in any game. And so the reaction is never really going to be that bad. People are going to moan that it's not that bad, and people are going to moan it's terrible, it's boring, it's stale, all that sort of stuff about Southgate, and try and want him to be gone. But people are never going to be properly angry about it, which they would be if we got humiliated. Now, if you're a Manchester United manager and you want to come in and impose your style on the team, you can't have that. You can't be afraid, petrified of taking risks. You can't be sort of stuck in the way of doing things you've always done it and stick by the same players always, because that's what got you that far. I think Southgate is maybe an acceptable manager at international level, but there is no chance ever that I'd accept him as a Manchester United manager.
No, I'm not. Don't even get me started. Yeah, don't even get me. It was a long week. It was a long Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh my goodness, me, Gareth Southgate. Yeah, not even a chance. Not even a chance. I mean, I don't want to be negative, and it's like this is an England view or anything like that. But yeah, for all of the talk about we're one of the favourites for the Euros, I'm like, are we really? Because I mean, with that manager, with that coach, oh my goodness me! And like you said, it's. I think it's one thing for international stuff, but to be linked to Manchester United. I mean, to replace Erik ten Hag, these are the same group of players that had, Ralph Rangnick coaching them, and they were like, I'm not sure this guy's tactically up to snuff, Gareth Southgate is better than ten Hag, KG.
Oh,
I've got a question, by the way. And Steph's here, and I think it's only her that should answer this one. There's links. They're speaking about Scotty McTominay.
Yeah, new contract. New contract. I was gonna bring it up later on in the show, but KG, go ahead, ask the question.
Sorry. I just want to know what Steph thinks of Scott McTominay getting a new contract. And hold on, let's put a lot of caveats. There's a lot of caveats needed. I'm also hearing Amadou Onana from Everton is been the price tag is in the 65 to 70 million region. I'm hearing stuff like that. I'm also hearing that the last time we tried to sell Scott McTominay, it was for 40 million. Knowing Onana is going for that kind of price, do you say, you know what, this is ridiculous, I'm not getting my market value, I'm not getting the right amount for someone that scored all these goals? Do you just give him a new contract?
Do I give him a new contract? You asking me personally, or are you asking me to think with, like, not my passion, just like a Manchester United head? Because
how about both? Both.
Okay. Well, you already know the answer to my personal opinion. This dude would be gone last summer, and he would have gone for the cost of 40p and a bag of crisps. Okay, honestly, like, that's how I feel. I'm just like
40p and a bag of crisps is a ridiculous. That we got more for Sudan.
You know what terrible as well as my initial reaction was what crisps, because that kind of depends.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll give him that. What's those Mackies of Scotland? I like those ones. Mackies of Scotland. Have you tried those?
Never tried it.
Anyway,
I'm more of a Walker's Bake guy.
My personal opinion is that look, he has come up through the youth. It feels like he's been there forever, too long, one season too long. So yes, I would have taken that money for him gladly, happily last summer for 30, 40 million. I would have sent him packing. I would have packed his bags for him, driven him to the airport, all of that stuff. If you ask me now with the Manchester United, like, head on, what would I do this summer? I would, honestly, I cannot believe I'm saying this. But considering how many players we have to ship out the door, he is not at the top of the list. He's not at the top of the list. There's so many other people that we need to, like, move on before him. And wait, don't you hit your bomb, KG. I'm not done yet. Mic drop. Hang on. Wait.
Yes.
But it's like, people are, like, praising him because he's, like, had the best season ever. So he's got 12 goals and 1 assist. Can you lot, honestly, I want you to honestly ask this yourselves. Do you remember the last time he got an assist?
FA Cup game, wasn't it? He gave it to Marcus
Rashford.
No, I know. Prior to that.
No, you can't do that.
You can't change it. You can't change it.
You can't do that, darling. You can't do that.
No, you misquoted me, because I said this season he's had 12 goals and 1 assist, and I said then my follow-on question was, can you tell me previous to that assist that he gave Marcus Rashford? When's the last assist he did? Like, he's just, you got me on one, KG. You just did this deliberately to wind me up, because I'm wound up already.
Well, I just wanted to ask questions. I think I've been learning from my friend Owen there, and he just feels like the right time to ask a question like that with you being here.
Yeah. All jokes aside, like I said, we've got so much to do. We've got so much work to do this summer in terms of transfers. He's on the list, but he's not at the top of the list. Okay. So I'll leave it with that.
So you're keeping it.
KG, you answer your own question, KG. Would you give McTominay a new contract?
Oh, new deal for Scotty. Damn, it's a tough one, you know.
I know.
It's a real tough question, because 12 goals is not a joke, right? 12 goals off the bench. I just want money. I want value money. I need to sell McTominay for 65 million. to wait 65, 60. If these players are going for other prices like that, I'm willing to raise the price up. You're getting a Premier League proven player, someone that is incredible, a talisman for Scotland. That's what you're getting. So and when you go down a level, they all seem to play well. Look at Andres Pereira. This guy's giving assist in the pre-assist against England. He actually looked
Cam's putting his hand to his face, KG. I think he disagrees. Cam.
Don't talk about Andres Pereira and try and make him into some good player.
I'm not, but I'm saying that his numbers.
No. You've mentioned his name like he's gone down and started setting the world. He has done shit all for Fulham.
Fulham like him.
All that guy does is run. That is it.
Are you telling me
he runs and scores the odd goal in pre-season? He does nothing.
Are you telling me Fulham don't appreciate Andres Pereira? You can't say that.
Go and ask their fans.
I got a Fulham fan that's one of my mates. He's in Ted Lasso with me, actually. Anyway, he loves him. He said, what do you call it? He loves him. So he's not like he's playing. I get we don't like them, but I'm saying when they go a level down, past like not Man United, somehow they play better. So how Alanga and all these other players, when they go a step down, they find their level and they're really good for them. I imagine Scott McTominay, when he finds his level, goes a step down, he'll be really important for whatever team he goes to.
He might start every game. He might score the odd goal, but shit looks like shit when it's surrounded by shit. It might be slightly better shit, but it's still shit.
Can I just make one more point? Sorry, I just want to jump in here. So you're talking about, this is the point that I was trying to make before as well, is like you're gassing him up like he scored 12 goals and 1 assist, right? And you're like, oh well, Cam, you just asked the question, can he do that for a team lower down in the Premier League? Yes, he probably can. Will he be making enough starts? Yes, he will. He'll probably be making more starts than he was if you kept him at Manchester United. But when are we going to learn as like Manchester United fans to not judge somebody off of one season? Because I feel like this is, and don't get me started on Rashford, but this is everyone gassing Rashford up last season, 30 goals, this and that. Look at him this season. What we lack in our players, individual players, is consistency. And I feel like it's really hard for us as United fans to make an informed and educated decision because our players are so inconsistent. So a lot of people who are McTominay supporters, for example, would be like, oh no, like look, he's done great this season. Yeah, we should either keep him because he's so great or sell him for, KG wants to do
65 million, 60 million. Havertz money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we know, you and I know, come on.
But let's be serious, KG here. £65 million for Scott McTominay with 18 months left in his contract.
How long in his contract?
He's not an England international. He's supposed to
I'm saying Scottish international. How long on his contract?
It's 18 months, isn't it? Something like that, I think. Like, there's got to be a decision sooner or later on what we're going to do with him. Because for the price you're quoting as well, KG too, not even necessarily 60, put that to one side, but even like a 40 or something like that, that's going down. Like, it's going down with the less times left in his contract.
We said no. That's taking a piss.
But you can't just go, oh, we say no, we want more. If he's got a year left, like, it's going to go down.
But you're missing an important point. The point, that sounds factual. What I mean is, he's a homegrown player. So going back to Kenny's point about FFP and all of these Premier League teams are looking at how they can maximise, how they can fiddle the numbers, fix the books. It does us enough. It doesn't really, of course, it matters how much we sell him for. But my point being is, I would be more reluctant to let Scott McTominay's contract run down because that's pure profit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. Either way, a decision has to be made, doesn't it? Kenny, would you give him a new contract? Where do you stand on McTominay?
No chance.
No chance.
No chance. No. I'll tell you why. Basically, right. Look at some facts here. Let's try and be, let's not be subjective. Let's try and be objective here now. Right. Scott McTominay over the past 3 seasons, right, has not been what we would call a ball-playing midfielder. He hasn't. We've had him with Fred, right? And that was a disaster, right? We've tried him with numerous other partnerships, and it's never ever worked, simply because the lad doesn't have the technical ability. Now, what he does have is physicality, right? I wouldn't even go as far as say as a good engine, because I've seen him struggling running back. All I have noticed all season is that we have got big gaps in the middle of the field when we are out of possession, right? And that is because of, not saying him personally, but that's how we have to set up with Scott McTominay. We know for a fact that there was an offer on the table from West Ham for Scott McTominay and Aaron Maguire. The reason there was an offer on the table that it was being discussed is because Erik ten Hag knew that he wanted to play possession-based football in the opposition half, and Aaron Maguire and Scott McTominay do not fit that. One, because Maguire isn't quick enough, and two, Scott McTominay isn't technical enough to do that. So they were going, they were leaving in summer. You don't need to worry about that, right? And if they'd have, because we wanted to sell them. Now let's come forward 12 months, which is now, this coming summer. We've got new owners in. These new owners need to make an impact. They need to make an impact with signings. They have to, because all new owners do, but they're restrained by FFP. So let's look at, again, let's be objective. Let's not be subjective about the individual. Let's look at his value to INEOS, not Manchester United, to INEOS. His value to INEOS is profit, because he's been brought up, he's come through the ranks. There is nothing to weight his value against with regards to, well, we paid this for, we didn't. So in an FFP point of view, he's pure profit. Sure. If you get 35 to 50 million for him, not saying you won't, then I'm sure there are players out there that you can get for 40 to 50 million with the technical ability to play how Ten Hag wants to play. Forget it's Scott McTominay. It's about a midfield player that doesn't have the technical capabilities to be able to transition play and play with the ball at his feet. You compare him to young Kobe Mainoo. Just compare him, right? The lad's 18 years of age. You give him the ball, he can run with the ball, he can dribble, and he can pass. I have never seen Scott McTominay dribble and pass. I've seen him give the ball away a lot. And yes, he does give you that physicality, and he's giving you them few goals off the bench. But it's the value of his contribution as against this transfer window, his 45 to 50 million, right, to buy you someone who is potentially, Scott McTominay ain't going to get better. He's not going to become Iniesta overnight or the next Messi or what. It ain't going to happen. But what you could do is with 40 to 50 million, you could bring someone in who potentially has got that. So
I'm playing
get rid.
I'm playing devil's advocate. This is probably for Cam, yeah, to jump in this one. Cam, so he's been, and you're a coach, yeah. This guy has started for everyone that is at this club. Everyone comes to Man United and says, I like Scott McTominay. What is going on? Is there not someone, are we just being, I know we're angry and we want to move on and want pastures new, greener grass and stuff, but is there something in looking at every manager coming in and saying, I need that kid? Floor's yours.
Yeah, and the reason that they've done that is if you look at Newcastle, for example, pretty much every signing they made to start with was a really physical player. If you look at the midfield that they chose to sign, really impressive physicality in that. Joe Linton, Bruno G, obviously Sean Longstaff played a lot of games now as well. Plenty of other players sort of fit that mold as well. Dan Burn, an example, 6'7". The reason that you sign a lot of physical players is that it makes it very, very hard to actually lose a game. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win a game, but it makes it very, very hard to lose a game because you can outwork teams, you can outrun teams. And look, it's not the prettiest way of playing football by any means, but ultimately the things that win you games are what happens in each box. And a hell of a lot of that is set pieces. It's sort of pressing. It's how you defend, how you get around the pitch. And obviously at the top end, it's your ability to anticipate, get on the end of things and arrive at the right time, all of which, in all honesty, Scott McTominay is good at. The issue is between the boxes, he's not great. He can sort of run an open space. He can drive with the ball. But as Kenny's rightly pointed out, he can't pass to someone in the same colour shirt, and he can't dribble. But you know, he's got flaws, he's got shortcomings, and he would never get into a team like Manchester City. But the reality is we're not Man City at this moment in time. And at the moment, until we get to a level where we're good enough that we can play without him, he's a player that can win you games at the far end in the opposition's box and stop you losing games in our box, because he's good on set pieces, good in the air, gets his body in the way of everything, and physical as well. So I completely agree with what Kenny's saying in the sense that if he's starting too many games, it's a problem. But I think if you want somebody to come off the bench with 20, 25 minutes to go and make sure you're not going to lose a game or try and get you the winner, I think he's a really good option. I think his career has been massively hurt by him repeatedly playing as a defensive midfielder, because he's not a defensive midfielder. He's not good enough. He's not got the positional awareness, doesn't know what he's doing. But I think there is a place for him in the squad. I'm not saying he should start games. I think I appreciate the FFP argument in terms of pure profit. That makes complete sense as well, as long as there's a suitable replacement coming in. I think it's a really difficult sell, particularly if you're trying to buy a young player who knows they need minutes for development, to then leave them on the bench. All it's going to do is piss off somebody in that squad. Scott McTominay, on the other hand, he understands what's going on. He knows he's not going to be good enough. And if we eventually get to a point where we don't need him and he hasn't played for half a season, then we can get rid of him. We still got the pure profit. Everyone's happy. But until then, he's a player that will win us points every season. If we say that it's a cost of 10 million per season, but there is a certain amount of points to be gained, and you know that, or 5 million per season, a certain amount of points, I think most of us would take that. If he's the guy that gets you into the Champions League, or those extra 5 points to get wherever, or gets you across the line in Europe, you'd take that, wouldn't you? Realistically, for a couple of £1 million, you take
it. Is, but where do we get this? Where do we get the money from to develop the squad and improve the squad? This is the point I'm making. He's absolute. INEOS can't. INEOS have got. If INEOS could spend £1 billion tomorrow on players, they would, but they can't. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to. We've seen what happens. So I think we've got very, very few people in our squad that we can sell that says, right, we'll get 35 for him, we'll get 50 for him, or whatever. But that's pure profit. There's very, very few. So for INEOS to make, the point I'm making is for INEOS to make an impact, they're going to have to bite the bullet and sell someone probably they don't really want to sell. But to make an impact and for Eric Ten Hag to get the type of team that he wants playing the football that he wants, then I'm afraid Scott McTominay will have to be sacrificed probably.
There are a lot of players that are on the way out.
Yeah, that's what I was also going to say.
I'm not saying that.
Let's get to these super chats quickly, by the way, Kenny. Josh says, if we give McTominay a new contract, Steph will be giving KG a full-blown apology with the eyes emoji. Yeah. It's the match fee thing, isn't it? Naveed says, McTominay is shit. We need to move like City. Ogwa says, not taking Onana for 50 million. McTominay worth around 30 to 40 million. Red Baron says, was Flex genuinely on a wind-up against you, Owen, with the Southgate thing? I'm sure he was trolling. The whole point for 3 days was crazy. Well, you'll have to ask Flex. I mean, I'm not here to stir rumours, but the answer is he was not trolling at all. He's deadly serious. You have to take that with him, okay? It's not salacious. He's Southgate in, absolutely 100%.
Green with money.
Red Baron also says, we need a British player quota, otherwise we'll be fined, I think. That's why McTominay is a squad player. For me, when it just comes to McTominay, I do think with him, I mentioned this the other day, maybe it's not the most appropriate comparison to make, but if you look at the best, or most successful rather, Manchester United squads in the past, shall we say, you do need those players. They're not world class. They're not the best players in the world, but they're comfortable with what their role is. This season, had we not had the injury, Scott McTominay wouldn't have played hardly anywhere near the amount of games that he has played. Same with people like Harry Maguire as well. And I'm not advocating to keep Maguire, but more so for McTominay, if we do manage to keep people fit and we bring better players in, he will naturally get further and further out onto the periphery of the squad. And I do think that we have to be careful of just sort of like shoving out players because they're just completely rubbish, when it's not as if he's not contributing anything. When he was a defensive midfielder, that is exactly the argument you could say there. He contributes nothing to this team. He is a detriment to the team. When he is scoring goals, and I think this season in the Premier League, certainly, I think he has the record this season for like the most points won on his own in terms of goals coming on, winning games or getting points for Manchester United. I think there's an element of trust there with the manager, and also to Cam's point as well, when it comes to fundraising, Kenny, when it comes to fundraising quickly,
How many
Cam's point,
games has he lost us in 3 seasons?
Well, let me finish. Let me finish. Because your point you were making previously was FFP related, right? Your point as you're making was FFP. Yeah. This summer, there's going to be a lot of people that are leaving anyway. I don't think our backs up against firmly the wall when it comes to FFP, because as KG points out, Mason Greenwood, another academy player, is going to leave most likely. Not for a huge amount of money, but 40, 50 million, around that kind of number. Anthony Martial, he's off the books, 250K a week. Rafael Varane, chances are he's probably going to be off the books when it comes to his wages. Maybe he'll accept a lesser amount, but we're still saving money there. Other players, we mentioned Harry Maguire, is going to probably be on the way out as well. So I don't think we're like a Chelsea where it's like we have to sell academy players, otherwise we're going to be massively in trouble. So I don't think he goes anywhere. And I think, again, you do need those players that I know we've got an idealized version of football we want to play, where Erik ten Hag wants to play, and that's great. But there do come those moments in the season where that does kind of go out the window, and you're 70 minutes in, 75, 80 minutes in, and you've tried to break them down, try to break them down. You need something different. Sometimes you need something different, and you need to put people into the box.
Steph made a point. You are basically, you've proved Steph right. Steph said, let's stop looking at one season. All you've done, Owen, is if you've just mentioned now that he's scored 12 goals this season, he's done nothing for 4 years. He's done nothing. But to Cam's point, why? Yeah, he's done nothing for 4 years because he's in the wrong position for 4 years. So when he's put in the right position, then he starts to succeed. Does he not?
Steph wants to get involved. Go on, Steph.
No, so I really wanted to jump in on this, but I was like, okay, let him speak. Your defense of Scott McTominay, he was playing in the wrong position. Do you know how many different positions Scott McTominay has played throughout his career for both Scotland, for his national team, and at club level? He's gone from defender to striker to defensive midfielder to box-to-box midfielder. He's played in 4 different positions on the field, and you're telling me after just this one season now he's in his best position? Surely if you were a certain level, to a certain degree, not necessarily a technical player, but a good player who, you know, has composure on the ball or offers one skill really well, then you wouldn't have to chop and change 4 different positions on the pitch to find your best position.
But that's how football works, is it not? That's how football works. And also, as well, I think you might be missing the point in the sense of, I'm not saying disgraceful. I'm not saying as well that Scott McTominay should start every single week, first name on the team sheet. I'm saying that in a squad game, when you need a squad player, and as Cam pointed out earlier on, if you've got a squad of 25 world-class players, then it's a recipe for disaster in terms of morale, leaks, and just a divisive dressing room because people are pissed off that they were sold dreams and they're not playing. You need people that are comfortable in their role. You need people that are different to the style of football that you play as well. And the idea that, McTominay's been put around all over the pitch, and now when he has a good season, we're like, it doesn't matter, shit anyway. But he has contributed this season. And if we put him in the right role and got the best out of him, isn't that an indication we should keep him in that role? My comment back to that is players who, what is it called? The Willian effect. You know, players who play for that new contract, who are like, you've had one good season. Let me reward you with another 3-year contract because you've had one good season. And then they're shit. Look at Rashford. Look what happened with Rashford last year. It's common. It's more common than you think. And I feel like we're just jumping on this hype train of Scott McTominay being good for this one season. And again,
it's now a bad
question for you, Anthony. All right. Question for you. With 10 games left, Anthony's fit. He was the idol of Manchester last week when he scored the equaliser. If Anthony scores a goal in the next 5 games, I'll say 10 games, and gets 10 goals this season, do you change your mind about Anthony and his future at Old Trafford?
Yes. What? Immediately. 10 goals.
If he gets a goal every game till the end of the season, so let's say he gets 10 goals. Right. That would
be a madness, Kenny. He'd have broke Hoyland's record earlier on in the season. He'd have scored in 10 consecutive games in the Prem.
But you're telling us all you're telling us is Scott McTominay scored 12 goals. Scott McTominay scored 12 goals. So that's all you're saying. That's all you.
I've never mentioned the amount of goals he scored this season. I mentioned winning points. That's a difference,
Yeah,
Kenny.
just
Winning
all
points and contributing.
Words into Owen's mouth.
But the point I'm making is, would you change your mind about Anthony if Anthony did that?
Well,
If he scored 10 goals every game between now and the end of the season, I may have a change of mind about Anthony. Yeah, one goal a game. One game a game. I have a change of mind.
He would give him the 7 shirt.
Yeah, because again, like to Steph's point earlier on, when it's like to put him in different positions, then I would go, well, whatever we're doing with Anthony now is working, so we should continue to keep him and play him in that position and continue to work. It's like Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, when he was at Spurs, he played all the way up and down the left-hand side. He played left back for ages for Spurs. Then eventually something clicks of him further up the pitch, and then you're not going, well, for the whole time he's been here, he's not been that good. You go, we've got something here. It's working. I think we should be careful of, I don't know, looking progress in the face and just kind of backing away from it and going, oh, no, we've made our mind up.
The grass ain't always greener.
Can I just say, look, I know this is, you can shut me down Owen straight away, but like, I'm being serious here. I don't want to lower the tone, but I just want to give you some kind of an analogy. What you're telling me about Scott McTominay and this one, like how he's had a good season, it's like being in a relationship, right, Owen, with a long-term girlfriend who's shit in bed, okay? And then all of a sudden, you're teaching her. No, just listen. No. Just listen to me. Just listen to me. She's shit in bed. You love her to bits, right? And you want to make the relationship work, right?
Yes,
to the team,
I
right?
don't.
And you're teaching her. I like it like this, and whatever. Right?
Oh no, we haven't put the watershed, Steph. It's not even 7 o'clock, babes.
Okay, I'll stop.
There's children.
I'll stop.
Maybe another reference.
I'm signing divorce papers straight away. Okay, yeah.
No, you're not. This is my point. So you're giving her instructions. You're giving her instructions, and she's doing everything that you want, and it's great, right? But then one day,
Owen's gonna take the very British approach and say nothing and stay.
Well, I'm going to do that thing going, let's go to the super chats. Let's go to the super chats. Naveed says, F McTominay, bring Gibbs White. And Ugo says, in this squad, McTominay is not the first name on the sale list. He is someone we should keep until we have a midfield and attack capable of winning games. That's also the other point working out as well, I guess. We've got, by the way, nearly 1,000 people watching, less than 200 likes. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Ugo also says PG-18, please, Steph, as well. So there you go.
You didn't let me finish, but anyway, carry on.
Well, there shouldn't be any talk about finishing or anything like that, yeah? Where that analysis was going? Yeah, never, Steph. Okay, let's not even go there, okay? We'll move on. KG, here's one for you. You can someone that can definitely make sure we steer it onto the right track and not go reckless at all. KG, the comedian, Mertens is on the way back. Yes, he's going to be back in training, and also Mason Mount. He is back. With these players coming back, you said we can go on a run. Are you more confident now we can go on a run? 10 games left, 10 finals.
Yes, I'd like to give you an analogy. I like to see this as like going to the red light district in Hotline. I'm playing. I'm playing.
You know when you're a substitute teacher and then the regular teacher comes back in and goes, "How did it go?" You go, "Yeah." You go, "I don't think I'm going to get asked back." You know.
Wait. No, on a serious note, having these players back is amazing. It's the family members that you want. It's the family members that you respect. It's the family members that you really love. Like Martinez is everything. He is what we need to play the type of football we're playing. And now we have a settled keeper. We have a real Cam. I apologize. Early in the season, I wanted you to get rushed. Early in the season, I wanted you to get like 2 foot tackled with no ball. Shin pads, no shin pads, just studs, classic. But now
you used to say that to Cam about Dallo as well. That's twice. Oh no,
I've said it a lot. Yeah, I've been Cam, but then Cam's been on a roll. Cam, I apologize. You don't deserve that 2 foot tackle. Anyway, these players being back are like, it's great. And it'll give Bruno the much needed rest. I think when Bruno gets the much needed rest, we'll actually start to maybe appreciate Bruno, because I think he works so hard. And there's non-stop. He can't play every game. Everyone else gets rested. Why not Bruno? You know, and then maybe then he'll start making better decisions with rest, without being fatigued and just doing a madness and kicking it at the 90th minute or something. The guy is all over the place. So hopefully it gives the manager more options. And we've seen when the manager has options, he can really he has this ability, this knack to get a result by looking on the bench and saying, you know what, you could help me right now. Go in. Yeah.
Cam, do you care to respond to your enemy there? I mean, look, he gave you some very nice compliments. Wow,
I'm just more concerned how he's gone straight. More concerned how he went straight from red light district to family. And he spent a long time talking about family.
That is a very good. Yeah, I agree.
Because I just went there for no reason. Then after I said, let's get back to normal. I just wanted to be ridiculous. Steph. I blame Steph for where we took this conversation.
Yeah.
Disgraceful.
Yeah, disgraceful. Absolutely. Where is it? I think I've got the Kenny disgraceful here as well. Actually, there you go.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
There you go. But Cam, what are your thoughts on what KG just said there? Ignoring the red light district thing. It's a disgrace.
I do owe him an apology as well, in fairness.
This is all too nice for me. Carry on.
No, the Onana thing, when KG said that I deserved to be rushed, my response was, I didn't actually want Onana anyway. I wanted Diogo Costa. So,
he did
that
say
true.
that. Yes.
I wanted De Gea gone. That's no debate on that. You thought I wasn't going to mention his name again. You thought,
yeah. Well, I thought you'd moved on. I thought you'd moved on to Casemiro now. What's your thoughts on Casemiro, Cam?
No, it's both of them. I think De Gea, as Steph said, when you've had a girlfriend for a really long time.
Oh, there we go again.
No, we're not going back down there. But De Gea's been letting me down for a very
down
long
there.
time.
Just don't want you get stuck in the sort of double entendre, don't you? Everything. It's just.
All I'm saying is it's very nice to look and see that he's not upgraded. He's unemployed. He's on his own at home.
Is that nice?
He's having a shit.
Nice?
Oh, I am loving every second of it.
Your agenda is like the next level. You have some next level agenda with David Gea. Like I think that's disgusting.
I think you should apologize to him because he's been a legend for the club, and that's disgusting, Cam.
Legend, I think, is a little bit far. I think he's been a very good servant for a very long time. I wouldn't quite say he's a club legend.
You're a hater. That's disgusting.
Do you take back your apology, KG?
That's why I talk about 2-foot tackles. Imagine this guy's been a servant to the club. And this is disgusting. I can't believe he's allowed to just again.
He was scared of the ball, man. He was terrified of the ball.
You mean like how Rashford's terrified of going one-on-one in the tackle?
I don't like Rashford either. That's a different story.
It's now a bad time to tell you lot that I'm keeping Rashford.
Go ahead.
Fair enough. Fair enough. He's probably just about deserves it. But yeah.
All right. Cool.
There you go. Kenny, imagine following all of this. With Martinez, does it worry you actually, Kenny, how important he actually is to United? Because when he got injured and we had a couple of bad results, people kept saying, well, that's because Martinez isn't playing. He's not available. And you've had some strong takes about Martinez in the past, said he's injury prone.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell. I love him. I think he's brilliant. But I always have this in the back of my mind about reckless challenges and getting injured. Same with Casemiro. Casemiro gets boot when he doesn't need to do. So Martinez Shaw fit on that left hand side, I think would be immense. And I think we'd struggle. I'd even back us if we had a fully fit team at Wembley against Man City. I'd back us. I would back us, and I'd be confident. I would, with a fully fit team and Martinez in there and Shaw. So I think all these players coming back has got to be a massive bonus. It's got to be a massive. We've still got some big games to play. We've got Arsenal. We've got Liverpool. We need them players back. If we get them players back, we will definitely go on a run. I can't see us getting beat. When we do get beat. Do you know what I mean? We've not been getting hammered. Do you know what I mean? We've just been playing poorly. They've not been playing very well. We've just been playing poorly. So I think with those players back and how they can play, especially on that left-hand side, I think is absolutely immense. I thought last week to keep Salah quiet and to keep, was absolutely brilliant.
I was Wan-Bissaka as well, wasn't it? Wan-Bissaka
Exactly.
at left back.
Exactly. And we know we can do a job. So I think if you get the players back that we've got out fit, we don't know about Mount because we're all unclear about, and I think you touched on it. He'll never rest Bruno. He will never rest Bruno because Bruno won't want to be rested. And I'm not a fan this season of Bruno. I'm not. I think he's been wasteful. I'm still not 100% saying that his captain material. I think his attitude at times is poor. So I don't see him as a natural leader on the pitch. I don't. I think he can get lost and he can get petulant, which is not good. But I also think as well, I don't think he knows where to play Mount. When he was fit, he didn't start many games. When he did, he was on one side and then he was on the other. Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Well, we've got a great 6. We've got a great 8 in Kobe Mainoo. And I don't care how much we paid for Mason Mount. There's no way can Mason Mount come in and even think about stepping on the Kobe Mainoo's toes. No way. And I'd be very, very surprised. So for me, where do we put Mason Mount? Where do we put Mason Mount if he is fit?
I've got a question. Sorry. No, I just want to jump in there because I've got a question, and maybe this is probably from a Ten Hag out point of view. If you were Ten Hag and you knew, obviously behind the scenes, he likes working with the youth. He knew that Kobe Mainoo, he had skills. He wanted to bring him up from the youth. And Ten Hag had an idea for him to play as a number 8 and then a fill-in number 6, right? So if Ten Hag knew all of this last summer, because obviously he's been working with the youth, he's seen Kobe Mainoo, then why? What I want to know is what was the obsession that Eric Ten Hag had with Mason Mount to go out of his way?
No.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I do. I get it, but I also think as well that he knew that Eriksen wasn't going to be the player that he thought he was going to get. We knew that, and we love Eriksen, but we love Eriksen as a 10. We love Eriksen as a 10. We remember Eriksen as a 10. We don't remember him as a 6 or a defensive midfielder, but he's been forced into that position. So I think what Ten Hag's looked at with Mount is his new Scott McTominay. Is that utility player? Mount showed that he can play in certain positions, and it's a technically better footballer than Scott McTominay. We know that. I'm not saying he's as physical. I'm not saying or whatever, but he is a better technical footballer. So I think Kobe Mainoo has been a shock to everyone because Mason Mount was a safe bet because he was an England international. He was a Chelsea player. He had a great stats. He had a bad season at Chelsea, but so did a lot of other players. So I think Mason Mount was, let's say, for example, he was an easy purchase for a Ten Hag, an easy purchase because he could put him in a certain place. What's thrown him is how good Kobe Mainoo has been. And we have all been surprised about Kobe Mainoo. We all hoped it could be good. But when we've actually seen him in real life and in the flesh and watched him consistently, then it's been outstanding. And nobody's seen that. No one has seen that. And he's still a young lad. And he seemed a level-headed young lad. We've seen it with Garnacho. Garnacho last year was explosive. He came on the scene. And what we've seen with Garnacho, he's not the finished article, we know. But what he's proven this year, he has it in him to be the finished article, and he has it in him to be a great footballer. He definitely has it in him. So does Kobe Mainoo. So I think going back to the Mount thing, I think he bought Mount not realising how good Kobe Mainoo was going to be. That's
let's get to these super chats here, and then we can wrap it up. Duma's been over for 20 months. Says Fleck is taken over for the. What happened there? It disappeared. There he goes back. Fleck is taken over for the rest of the week after this. Well, Red Baron says Kenny hates Martinez. Pass it on. Allegations against Kenny. Okwa says happy to cheat on David De Gea with Onana in Marcel's voice. That is such a mad comment from Marcel, isn't it? When he was happy to cheat on Eric Ten Hag with Roberto De Zerbi. And Danny says, do we play Dalot left back to accommodate Wan-Bissaka or keep Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the left? Interesting decision to be made. Dalot is on fire right now and United's best player, in my opinion. KG, what do you think? Would you keep him?
You have to keep Dalot playing in this position right now. He's on fire. The guy's working. And again, Rashford playing with Wan-Bissaka on his side is not a bad thing. Not saying because Rashford doesn't come back all the time, but it helps Rashford out a bit. You know, he can take a few more liberties. So, and focus on the attacking side of the game. I like how things are. Wan-Bissaka seems comfortable enough. Yeah, let's keep going.
Cam, what do you think with that one as well? Would you keep Wan-Bissaka at left back based off the Liverpool game and based on Dalot's form as well?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Wan-Bissaka did well against Liverpool. He wasn't as terrible as I thought he'd be on the left. Locked up Salah, and yeah, like KG said, he maybe works well with Rashford. I think more importantly, Dalot is doing a really good job on the right. Works well with Garnacho on that same side, but also when he comes into midfield as well, I think there's a nice relationship there between him and the midfield players as well. So I wouldn't want to necessarily move that too much.
Yeah, and finally, very quickly, we'll go around the panel before we wrap things up. We've got Brentford at the weekend. I think it's like 8 o'clock kickoff on the Saturday or something like that. These late kickoffs are, crazy. But look, after the impressive result we got against Liverpool, which of course was not in the Premier League, was in the FA Cup. If something would happen in that game, momentum, would that hurt us? But that's not the question I'm asking. It's predictions. I'll start with you, Kenny. Prediction for the game against Brentford at the weekend.
2-1 United.
2-1 United, an away victory. Steph, what are you saying?
Oh, yeah,
Muted. There you go. Try again.
Oh, hello.
There you go.
Oh, I'm going to go 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Good. That's what I'd like to hear. The one and only Kevin Gary. What's your prediction?
3-0 United.
3-0. Who's going to score, KG? There's goals.
I'm going with Bruno goal to Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho.
Well, McTominay hat-trick.
Yeah. And Cam, what's your prediction?
I think it'll be tough without Maguire because they put the ball in the box a hell of a lot, but I'd say 3-1 United. 3-1
United. I'm going to go with 2-1. I think I'm closer to Kenny on that one. I think it'll be difficult. There's some demons to exercise, isn't there? Last year, 4-0. A lot of the players that were there, they'll be involved, won't they? Actually thinking about that team that played against Brentford. So, they've got to exercise some demons. Ivan Toney's going to be back for them as well. So it's going to be a danger. It's going to be a threat. But I feel the momentum's there. I'm believing.
Hold up. Sorry, really quickly. I know we need to end this stream right now, but I'm just trying. I said 2-1, but now I'm thinking about all of our defenders and who's injured in that. Because Maguire's injured, isn't he?
Yes. But Martinez might be back, so it might be Martinez and Varane playing centre back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll stick to 2-1 then, yeah.
Previously a great partnership against Brentford, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Worked really well before. So, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Anyway, guys, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Flex and myself, Flex and KG show tomorrow as well. So big up to the panel, big up to Cam, big up to KG, big up to Kenny. There you go. The thumbs up from Kenny there as well. And big up to Steph too. Click the like button, subscribe. We're out of here. Peace.